Hi everyone, I hope you're keeping well. My name's Louis and I'm a university recruiter for Teach First. For anyone that's not familiar with Teach First, we're an educational charity and we exist simply because education in the UK isn't fair. A child's background shouldn't affect their future, but unfortunately the harsh reality is that a child from a disadvantaged background is less likely to get good SAT results, get good GCSE results, and go on to higher education or gain access to jobs or opportunities that will help them reach their full potential. For example, only 4% of doctors and just 6% of barristers come from working class backgrounds, and that has become completely normalised now that those from more affluent backgrounds will take on better paid, more prestigious roles, while those from poorer backgrounds simply won't. The effects of this slow start can last a lifetime, widening social inequality, and it's a vicious cycle that we're determined to help schools break at Teach First. And this is where our graduate training programme comes in. On our programme, you'll gain a fully funded postgraduate diploma in education and leadership, a PGD, worth double the credits of a PGCE. The PGD is an internationally recognised teaching and leadership qualification, and you'll also have the opportunity to top it up to a master's in your optional third year if you want to, at a reduced cost. You gain a salary from day one in the classroom, not after additional time studying like some other teaching qualifications. And the salary goes up in your second year as well. After 2 years on the programme, whether you stay in education, change education at a systemic level, or do something completely different, this experience will provide you with some amazing transferable skills for your future career. Also, through our partnerships, we link you to some of the world's leading businesses and organisations for further opportunities. In the summer break of the programme, for example, we'll give you the chance to take on a 1 to 3 week placement with one of our supporter organisations to boost your development as a leader in a different field. You can apply for our training programme in your penultimate year if you're ready to, and defer your start date until after you've graduated. If you're due to graduate in 2022, for example, you'll already be able to apply now. Applications for our 2022 cohort are likely to remain open until next spring. We don't have an exact closing date, but we will likely stop welcoming applications once all of our teaching positions have been filled. We tend to find that the most popular subjects fill up incredibly early. For our 2021 cohort, we filled our primary and early years vacancies in the summer of 2020, a year in advance. As such, we always encourage earlier applications. Popular regions also fill up quickly, so if you're eager to train to teach in a specific part of the country, we'd also encourage you to apply early. When it comes to applying, remember that we aren't looking for candidates necessarily with teaching experience already. You're applying to our training programme. We're there to train you up and give you that experience. Our application process is entirely competency-based, so if you can demonstrate our 8 competencies, we know you've got potential to be an amazing teacher. Qualities like effective interaction, leadership, planning and organising are what we see in the most effective, inspiring teachers. If you can demonstrate these, we know you'll go far in the classroom. They're also competencies that you can develop anywhere, through hobbies, part-time jobs, through university, or through volunteering. If you still want to develop your skills and experiences further though before you apply, we do have a couple of insights programs that you can apply to in your penultimate year in order to boost your skill set, your confidence and your CV a little further. We have, for example, our STEM online experience, which is open to anyone in their penultimate year that has either STEM A-levels or is studying towards a STEM degree. On the STEM online experience, you'll get a real experience of life in the classroom and a chance to teach your own lesson. You'll learn about the STEM challenge, you'll spend a day in school observing teachers and working with pupils, and you'll see effective leadership in action. You'll also have the chance to try out teaching to see if it's for you. You'll also boost your chances of a place on our graduate programme with the option to attend an assessment for our 2-year training programme at the end. If you don't have a STEM background though, you can still apply to our student taster online. You can boost your CV and discover the thrill of teaching in just 2 days. With our student taster, not only will you gain skills that will help you stand out for our training programme, but you'll also be on a fast track towards it. Taster has been designed to give you the chance to see if Teach First is for you, and if you think it is, it'll kickstart your journey with us. Again, you'll develop some of the competencies that we look for in our applicants for the training programme, qualities like effective communication, leadership, and planning and organising, the competencies that we believe give people the potential to be incredible, inspiring teachers. More than that though, not only are these skills necessary for the classroom, but employers everywhere are keen to see them. Nothing makes you stand out from the graduate crowd like proving yourself with a Times Top 100 graduate employer like Teach First. Over the 2 days with us, amongst other things, you'll have a chance to reflect on your own skill set, debate current issues in education, learn about what makes a great lesson, and have the chance to plan and deliver your own mini lesson. If you have any questions about being in the classroom, our ambassadors will be on hand during Taster 2 to tell you all about the ins and outs of life in the classroom. They'll also be able to talk to you about the incredible impact they're having working in schools in disadvantaged areas. Applications are open for both our STEM OE programme and Taster, and running on these dates in 2021. If you think you're ready for a taste of teaching, apply today. Remember, whichever of our programs you're applying to at this stage, the process is completely competency-based. We're looking for plenty of detail in your answers, and to help you cover all the necessary points, we encourage people to use the CAR method. C stands for context, providing context for the situation. A sentence or two should be plenty here. A focuses on what actions you took. 70% of your answers should explore the actions. And then R, include what the result was. Why was the success of the experience down to you? What was your contribution to it? Remember, your examples can be professional, academic, or personal. We're looking for you to demonstrate strong enthusiasm and commitment, as well as an understanding of our vision and the journey you will take to become an effective Teach First ambassador. Read our website, search the web, and make sure you fully understand what it is that we do and why it's important. The online application process for all of our programs is your opportunity to demonstrate some of the competencies that we think are essential for success on the training program. When answering the competency-based questions, we recommend that you take time to consider what examples you'd use for each question. The first example that comes to mind won't necessarily be the best. Feel free to draw on professional, voluntary, personal, or academic experiences. We're more interested in the skills and behaviors you've demonstrated than the opportunities that you've had. And be explicit in your answers. We cannot infer or assume anything. Your application will be blind screened, meaning that all personal data will be removed. Any information previously shared with us will not be viewed. Your responses to the competency questions are your opportunity to demonstrate your true potential. Remember that you're only able to complete one application per recruitment window, so take a moment to consider whether your responses to the competency questions showcase your abilities. Once you've written your answers, reread the question to make sure you've fully answered it. The question will outline which competency we're expecting you to demonstrate, so check that you've answered this in your answer. The word count is not just the limit on what you're able to write, it's a general guide to the level of detail that we expect to see as well within your responses. You can effectively answer a question under the word count. However, if you are significantly below, you may wish to consider whether you fully answered the question. Never lie on the application form either. This might seem straightforward, but you're likely to be caught out in the interview or later in the recruitment process if you do. If you're offered a place on our programs, you will be required to provide references and original certificates of your qualifications. Applications with 5 or more spelling and/or grammar mistakes will also be failed as well. Make sure you proofread your answers to help you identify and correct any errors. Proofreading is also an opportunity for you to reflect. Do you think you've answered each of the questions to the best of your ability? If you've written your answers in a word processing program and then pasted them into the form, please double check that you've correctly pasted answers into the appropriate question. And make sure that your responses completely answer the question you've been asked. If you've got any questions about applying, feel free to reach out to me. As mentioned, I work with students at Liverpool to support them with applying, so I'm always on hand. Thanks very much and best of luck with your applications.